2 practice begins, and the defense has made its move. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Kick Dingbat here, and all of you guys have been waiting. Where is his defense? Where is Nolan Smith? Where is Devin White? Where is Kelee Ringo? They're here. They showed up in a big way with a big day as the Eagles start their second week of practice. And all I can say is this: as Jalen Hurts is tearing it up, passing all over the field, there are defensive players that are showing up, especially young guys that we need. Now, we're going to get into it and so much more in a second. But in order to start, we've got to start with the injury report. John McMullen wrote this: Pound Eagles practice report. Will not practice. Saquon Barkley, personal. He wasn't there. He wasn't even on the field today. He had something to take care of, I guess. Oren Burks' knee. Lane Johnson hanging out with Avonte Maddox and his big-ass toe. Why do I feel like the toe is contagious? Like Avonte Maddox always has a big-ass toe problem. And it seems like everybody else is getting a toe problem. Dickerson had it. Now he gave it to Lane Johnson. Lane's probably going to give it to Becton. Who knows? We're taking bets on the C. Who has a big-ass toe problem next? Going to be interesting. Limited, Brett Toth, hamstring. My understanding is it's nothing serious with Lane. Obviously, Tyler Steen is out, also ankle. And that's right. Tyler Steen was out. We talked about that in my previous video. He is out today for the next few days, Tyler Steen. And the Eagles had Mekhi Becton at right guard starting. Okay? Now get this. You have Mekhi Becton starting at right guard. So far in the first week in camp, he's played left guard, right tackle. All right? He can obviously go at pretty much any position. All right? And the Eagles had Fred Johnson starting at right tackle today, getting reps because Becton was at right guard. They're going to see if Becton can play that right guard spot. And I really wonder, being the fact that he could play so many positions on the offensive line, do you really want to sit there and start him at right guard, or do you want to keep him and have him for wherever you need him? What is going to be more valuable for the Eagles? That is the great mystery, the great question. We'll see. All right, now, starting 11 on 11 drills. Some big things, okay? I think there was a big showing today with Ringo. For Eagles first team, and this was Brandon Lee Gaunt, shout out to him. Eagles first team defense, 11 on 11. Cornerback, Darius Slay and Kelee Ringo. This is very important, okay? Linebacker, Devin White and Zach Bond. The reason why I say this is important is because this is the 3rd day in a row for Ringo to be the first up getting first team reps. The first day of practice, it was Isaiah Rodgers. Now, Isaiah Rodgers was first up with Darius Slay day 1 of practice. Every other day has been Ringo. So the assumption is that Ringo is winning that job, or is at least looks like he may be pulling ahead somewhat. Ringo is such an interesting guy because he's big. I think he's a physical corner, and I think he's going to be, like I've said all offseason, I think Kelee Ringo will be an outside starting corner for a long time to come with the Eagles, which is why I see the value of Cooper DeJean inside. That's why I look at DeJean and I don't say, yeah, you want to throw him on the outside with Mitchell. No, you want DeJean to be a safety, a slot corner. You want him to float around wherever you need him because you're going to have 2 lockdown guys in Mitchell and DeJean in the future. And I really would think, if I was the Eagles, about putting Isaiah Rodgers in the slot because he could be your slot corner for years to come. But Ringo, it looks like he's pulling away, okay? Or at least he's got the early lead from the way it looks. Linebackers, starting again, Devin White and Zach Bond. Now, Devin White showed up today. They say Devin White has been extremely, extremely impressive, okay? So I tell you what, there was a play where it was a great pass by Hurts to Shipley, over the shoulder down the sideline, and White was able to close on him so fast, they said. Brandon Lee Gaunt wrote this. Devin White looked pretty explosive, flying to Will Shipley after running back makes a short catch in the flat. White almost broke up the pass. Instead, was immediately able to push running back out of the bounce. This is what he says. I like what I've seen from White this offseason. Me too. Devin White, as I've said before, and I truly believe, Devin White will go down this season as the biggest steal of free agency signing. A one-year contract, was it like $7-8 million? It's cheap for a guy that was a top 5 pick. I believe Devin White still has Pro Bowl type talent as a linebacker. He's young, and by the time we get to November, I truly believe we're all going to be crying, how are we going to keep Devin White? Devin White, good day. Now, Isaiah Rodgers didn't start, but he did come out, and he did have a pass breakup. Isaiah Rodgers with a pass breakup in the end zone to break up Kenny Pickett pass to Joseph Nagata to prevent a deep touchdown. Rodgers' teammates were fired up and celebrated with him. Interesting note here as well, Avonte Maddox was second-team safety with James Bradbury. Now, I've had discussions with people about this. I am not a fan of Avonte Maddox at safety. I've never been when he played it a few years ago. But here is two veteran guys, essentially two corners, that are playing backup safety now. It's telling me the Eagles are very thin at safety. And one of two things is going to happen. One, DeJean's going to come back and get reps at safety, or they're going to go out and sign a safety at some point. Just look out for Justin Simmons. I really believe that, okay? I do. Because I don't think you can just go with these guys at safety. I don't think they're good enough. Just my opinion. All right? Now, the other guy that was very explosive on defense today, we got to talk about him because we've been waiting for him to show up. We've been waiting for him. And that is Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith had a big day today, okay? And after practice, he was talking to reporters. This is what he said. Brandon Lee Gaunt wrote this. Nolan Smith says he gained 7 pounds of muscle this offseason. Smith said he went to the Iran market and spent $100 on 2 items, Korean barbecue and 34 smoothies. So 7 pounds of muscle. He looks bigger than that, to be quite honest with you. I thought he was bigger than that, but great day for him. He had a stretch where he got 2 sacks on Jalen Hurts. Martin Frank wrote this. Nolan Smith gets a sack on Hurts, then in the backfield next play. Brandon Lee Gaunt wrote, Nolan Smith with back-to-back sacks on Jalen Hurts. Beat Fred Johnson with an inside move at first, beating him on the outside. Who the hell's Fred Johnson? I forgot if Fred Johnson was on the team. All right? But he was starting today, so he can't be that bad. On the first sack, Nolan Smith used a bend to dip under Fred Johnson at right tackle and sack him. On the second play, they said he went inside with a spin move. So, Nolan Smith, we're seeing life. We're seeing life from Nolan Smith. We're seeing life from Ringo, Isaiah Rodgers. We're seeing life from Devin White. These are all good signs on the defensive side of the ball, especially for those that are worried because the offense was so good last week. Okay? Now, speaking of the offense, we've already spoken about Steen and those guys. But Jalen Hurts, with the play of the day, was a big 45-yard touchdown pass to one Devontae Smith. And you know what? That shouldn't surprise anybody, okay? He also had a couple good throws. One was to Will Shipley down the sideline. But Jalen Hurts, I think, continues for the most part to be good. But I do think today, I think today is about the defense. I think there were some guys on the defensive side of the ball that showed up, and it's big time. It really is for the Eagles. On the 45-yard pass to Devontae Smith for a touchdown, Devontae Smith was able to get past Avonte Maddox, who I believe was at the safety position. So that just makes my argument with him on the safety. Now, they did say that the play should have probably been blown dead because in a real game, it looked like Milton Williams would have had a sack on Jalen Hurts. Now, here's what's interesting. Tomorrow, you got the Eagles in pads. So we're going to see a lot more, and especially maybe we'll get a better look at the defensive line. But it looks like this pass rush is coming on. They say that Jordan Davis got a nice haircut, got rid of his dreads. I don't think it's going to help anything, but maybe he'll just feel cooler. You know what I mean? Maybe he'll feel a little lighter. That's what we need. We need our boy conditioned and in shape. Now, one interesting thing I saw posted that I want to talk about for a second is something Zach Berman wrote on Twitter. Okay, this is what he said. Something that shouldn't be discounted. Johnny Wilson is getting work on the inside with the ones. Something that Jeff Mosher alluded to in the spring. If the Eagles don't add a wide receiver, they could mix and match with wide receiver 3 depending on matchup and game plan. Wilson is a different type of player than Paris Campbell, the front runner for that spot, and John Ross, who has also worked in with the ones quite a bit this summer. So what they're saying is Wilson, we may see him in certain situations. Like between the 20s, it may be Paris Campbell, Ross, Nia Smith, although I got to tell you, it sounds pretty disappointing what I've heard from Nia Smith. Why are you looking at me? You're just sitting there looking at me. Come here. You know, I got this guy just sitting there looking at me. Just sitting there looking at me. So I've been a little disappointed with what happened with Nia Smith. But I will say this, though. Johnny Wilson playing like in the red zone, like between the 20s, you get Campbell, you get Ross. In the red zone, you get Johnny Wilson. Take advantage of that 6'7" frame. Why not? He's big, he's huge. If you could use him in the red zone, take advantage of it. Take advantage of when you can take advantage of things. Avonte Maddox said he has never seen Devontae Smith in the slot so much, which may be where Avonte Maddox was playing on that 45-yard touchdown, come to think of it. I know he was getting second-team reps of safety, but he's also starting in the slot. So the amount of times the Eagles are putting Devontae Smith in the slot, it's a good omen. It means that they're moving guys around, they're doing some things different, and I think that's really important, and that's probably actually where that 45-yard touchdown pass came from. Something to keep in mind. Now, the Eagles tomorrow are in pads, so look for that. Should be really, really interesting. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Of course, I'll be live, and then look for a shakedown tonight. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision, baby. We're all just living in it. My buddy wanted to see the camera and say some things. What do you want to say? What do you want to say? Yeah? Now you're getting shy. Now you're getting shy. 4-week-old kitty. What are you going to do? Denzel Washington out.
Hi, Michael Anthony Fitness here, MAF.
That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.